What would you do if a mouse appeared in your house for no apparent reason? There are no cracks, no food outside. There's no logical explanation. It just appears. Coincidence? Chance? Or a sign from the universe that you still don't know how to read? I'm going to tell you a quick story. Maria, an ordinary woman and mother of two, had been feeling overwhelmed for weeks. Work, home, relationship, everything seemed out of control. One night, while she was meditating, she felt something move beside her. It was a small mouse. It didn't run away, it didn't attack her, it just looked at her. She was scared, like anyone. But the curious thing wasn't the mouse. It was what happened next. That same week, she quit her job, started writing a book, and without knowing why, she felt something inside her had changed. What if the presence of a mouse wasn't just a nuisance but a spiritual code waiting to be deciphered? Today we're going to discover why when a mouse enters your house, it's not just a coincidence. It's an invitation, a silent wake-up call. Stay with me until the end, because not only are we going to decipher the spiritual meaning of the mouse, but you're also going to learn to interpret the signs the universe is already sending you, but you don't yet see. Because when the soul doesn't speak, life finds other ways. Since the beginning of time, animals have been messengers in the spiritual world. Nothing happens without meaning, and the mouse, although small, is a huge symbol. In many ancient cultures, its appearance is not seen as a plague, but as a sign. Let's start with shamanism. In Native American traditions, the mouse represents attention to detail. It is the silent observer, the one who sees what others ignore. When it appears, it can be an invitation to take a closer look at your life because perhaps there is something important that you are overlooking. In ancient Egypt, the mouse was associated with vigilance. They were considered guardians of hidden secrets, protectors of the invisible. A presence that reminds you to be alert, not from fear, but from awareness. Now we travel to India, where the god Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, rides on a mouse. Why would such a powerful god choose such a small being as his vehicle? Because the mouse represents the restless, agile, swift mind, capable of entering the darkest corners. It reminds us that the ego may be small, but if you don't control it, it can creep in everywhere. And in Taoist tradition, the mouse embodies cunning, survival, the power to adapt silently. When it appears in your life, it may be saying that the time has come to be flexible, to act with intelligence, not force. As you see, no matter the culture, the mouse is a symbol of introspection, precision, and hidden wisdom. So if one appears in your path, don't ignore it, because it may be that what it's coming to show you is something you've been avoiding. What details in your life are you ignoring? What part of you is being too loud and you need silence to hear what matters? The mouse, with its small body, may be silently screaming for you to finally look within. The mouse doesn't come to disturb you, it comes to wake you up. Perhaps you're wondering why a mouse appears in my house right now? Nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens in sync with your energy, your emotional state, and the moment you're experiencing. Mice often appear at key moments when you feel anxious or mentally overloaded, when there's something you're trying to control but can't control, or when you're ignoring a part of you that's crying out for silent attention. Have you noticed where the mouse appeared? Was it in your bedroom? It could be indicating an imbalance in your personal energy. Perhaps you need emotional rest or to heal intimate wounds. Was it in the kitchen? The kitchen represents nourishment, both physical and spiritual. The mouse here could be showing a lack of self-care or an imbalance in how you're nourishing your body and soul. In the living room is the social hub, the place where you share. A mouse here could signal hidden conflicts with close people or the need to reorganize your relationships. The universe is speaking to you through the details, and when a mouse appears, there may be something small but important that you're letting go. And if we look deeper, the mouse can also symbolize a part of you that was silenced. Remember that dream you pushed aside? That inner voice you decided to ignore because you were too busy? That pending conversation that still weighs on your chest? Often, signs come in the form of interruptions, not to bother you, but to finally get you to stop. The mouse doesn't show up when everything is in order. It shows up when your soul needs you to stop and listen. Now that you know that the mouse's presence can be a sign, it's time to go deeper, to look within, to let the message find you. For that, I want to invite you to take a moment, breathe if you can, close your eyes for a moment, and ask yourself these 3 questions. Question 1. What was I feeling just before the mouse appeared? Question 2. What aspect of my life have I been ignoring lately out of fear, comfort, or routine? Question 3. What part of me needs more attention, more care, more light? Don't answer with your mind. Answer from your soul. Perhaps that's where the true message lies. Spiritual exercise. I recommend you start a sign journal, a notebook where you write down every time something seems strange, symbolic, or out of place. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. But those who learn to listen can change their lives. You can include the date of the event, what you felt at the time, what was happening in your life, and what intuition arose about it. Because maybe the mouse isn't coming to scare you, it's coming to wake you up, to invite you to stop running and start looking. What comes to you is for you. The universe is never wrong. You've seen the mouse, you've felt the discomfort, you've understood it wasn't a coincidence. So, what to do now? The answer isn't fear, it's awareness. The first thing is to observe. Don't react violently, because if the mouse is a messenger, why destroy the messenger? A conscious response ritual is to perform an energetic cleansing of your home. It's not just physical cleansing, it's vibrational. I recommend lighting sandalwood, Palo Santo, or white sage incense, passing Tibetan bells, quartz singing bowls, or simply consciously clapping in corners. Open doors and windows while repeating out loud, "Light enters, the old goes, the new manifests with clarity and peace." And as you do this, visualize not the mouse, but the message emerging and taking shape. Step 2. Respond from your soul. Take a moment to write or meditate on what part of me wants to express itself through this presence. You can light a candle, place your hands on your chest, and simply listen to a guided meditation. Breathe deeply 3 times and repeat in your mind, "I am open to understanding the messages of the universe. My soul knows the way. I am ready to see with different eyes." Step 3. Close the cycle. Once you have cleansed, reflected, and understood, give thanks. Yes, thank the mouse because it only came to show you something that was already within you. You can even say out loud, "Thank you for your presence. I understood the message." You can leave in peace. And most importantly, don't see everyday annoyances as mere accidents anymore, because everything that appears in your life is an invitation to awaken. When you react with awareness, the universe responds clearly. What if I told you that you are not alone? That there are many people like you who once received a signal as small as a mouse, and from that moment on, everything changed? Sylvia was 47 years old, worked as an accountant, and had been feeling an inexplicable emptiness for months. One morning, she found a mouse right under her personal altar. Instead of being scared, she decided to light a candle and remain silent. That night, she dreamed of her grandmother, whom I always told her when the house speaks, it listens. A week later, Sylvia quit a job that no longer made her happy. Today, she is a holistic therapist and guides women in new moon circles. Daniel was an engineer, very logical, very rational, until one day, while making coffee, he saw a mouse perched on his table. He thought, this shouldn't be happening. What's wrong? But instead of blaming the outside world, he looked within. That night, he meditated for the first time and discovered an anxiety he had been ignoring for years. Today, Daniel combines science and spirituality and leads emotional awareness workshops for men. Lucia was afraid of being alone. But the mouse appeared the very day she decided to move out. She saw it as a sign that it was time to let go of control and trust. Today, the mouse freed me from fear. He taught me to inhabit the unknown with faith. These stories are not miracles. They are people who dared to look beyond the obvious, to trust in the invisible, to listen to what life whispers between noises and corners. Life is always speaking to you. You just have to learn to listen with your soul. Now you know, a mouse in your house isn't just a strange event. It's a spark of consciousness, a whisper from the universe that watches, listens, feels. It's not about the animal itself, but what it represents. Something small trying to enter where you wouldn't let it. Something hidden that wants to come to light. Something internal that wants to be finally seen. When we stop seeing events as accidents and start seeing them as signs, then we stop living on autopilot and begin to live awake. Visual people looking at the sky. An open notebook with words like awakening. Thank you. I'm starting today. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you already knew. That life wants to speak to you and that you are ready to listen. Spiritual awakening begins with the smallest things. I invite you to no longer ignore what seems insignificant, to trust your intuition and open the eyes of your soul. If you felt something special during this video, leave it in the comments. Tell us your story. Maybe someone else needs to read it. Subscribe if you want to receive more messages like this. Activate the bell and share this video with someone who, like you, is ready to see beyond the obvious. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. Are you listening?